All right, glad you can join me today. We're at 35 degrees Celsius, so we're well into, well, we definitely cracked 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and we still got a peak of the day coming. So we could get to 40. We could start to get to 100 degrees. We're going to review what I was talking about the other day, about getting the leg in with these two fun stems that are really good friends of mine, and I've done a lot of work with them. One of the major reasons is because of the extreme amount of sun overheating the camera. We'll explain and we'll go through this again. And then we'll go to the tree that we originally worked on, and we'll see if we can record some more extreme high-paced drills this time. Get some of that footage in before the camera overheats and shuts off. When the camera overheats and shuts off, sometimes it saves the footage wherever it just shuts off, and sometimes the whole entire recording is canceled, which is a little bit, annoying. But still, so one of the goals here, one of what I love getting the leg. I love using the leg as leverage. It creates all sorts of problems sometimes that are undetected and stuff, and it gives you all sorts of leverages. It gives me all sorts of leverages and stuff, and it's a much more incomplete control for your opponent imagine this was legs, and I'm just trying to contain the whole entire system. It's not what I would love to do. Or let's say this is some extremity, arms or legs, let's say, and here's the body. Okay, what I want to do is I want to get around this. There's one option, and I want to get to the body. I want to control the body for many different reasons. And we're talking theory here, but these are the type of things that happen when in this video series, as opposed to the one where we just watching me get punished and stuff. Punishment happens everywhere, so don't worry about that. But there's all the theories involved are quite classic and traditional in the sense that we want to get to the head. I want to get to the primary. If I can cut off the head, okay, then the extremities mean very little, right? And you see that a lot in a lot of different senses. This could be wrapped around my neck and trying to cut off my head. And if I can be successful and cut this head off, this is going to die out and this will stop. Okay, so it's one of the reasons, and also in a general sense. Okay, we want to get to the head. I want to get to the primary source because that's where I can do a lot of control. There's a tremendous amount of chess theory involved, though, because the types of control I have at an extremity, okay, could help me or give me particular pathways to the primary. Okay, and of course in classic type of theories where a good offense is having a good defense and a good defense is having a good offense, each one can complement the other, each one can behave like the other, okay, and even supplement the other. So it's the same thing. If I completely neutralize this, okay, then I may reduce the head without actually dealing with the head directly. I may reduce the head significantly, limit it, or neutralize the head as well by neutralizing this. In an extreme example, in combat or whatnot, imagine this is my opponent, this is my opponent's legs, okay? If I destroy the leg or seriously incapacitate it, limit its function, and my opponent's on one leg now, and if I do the same to this leg, my opponent might not even be able to stand, okay? And you get the point from there, right? And if we do that to the arms, both arms, then what is the head really at that point? But a conscious, stressed out center point that stuck and can't do anything, or could roll maybe or whatever. But okay. So, so, so one of the classic positions is creating that open guard here, and it's a give and take, and it's a classic one, and it's a lot of fun, but it's also a give and take. Okay, by opening this up, I create a lot of easy, I create a lot of common, a lot of accessible infighting and close distance relationships. Okay, but at the trade-off or at the balance of also allowing my opponent to also come in close as well. Okay, now there's heaps of things to do on this because this does act as a clamp, this does act as a lock, as a hold. Okay, but at the same time it can easily also go as a barrier. So between, but not only as a barrier, but also as a leverage. And one example, okay, in this ebb and flow of position and stuff is to allow the approach, allow the takedown, or allow the coming in, but by sneaky, not making too big of a deal with it, okay, but having this in between. It creates that, and then all of a sudden I have a whole different, this is a very weak position for the opponent. The opponent still has to come over here, but what they'll do is they'll scramble over to the side and then try to, okay, pin me like that, okay? But when I'm holding on over here as well, it just buys me some time for a lot of things. Happens a lot in transitions and stuff like that that I like to play with, and then I can come back. But maybe one of the important things is I'm in control, and it also buys me some time, and it's also leverage, and it's the equivalent of, sure, it certainly is a version of resisting your opponent, keeping the opponent off of you like that. But what do I have to do here? Am I right? What is that? But what's this? A little bit closer, a little bit better, right? And I'm still, now I've talked about this in detail, lots of also sneaky things that I'm playing with, okay? So, yeah, so my tilting or whatever will free up something, and what did I do? I made a whole big deal about over here. I made a whole big deal over here, but what I was probably doing at the same time that we might not have been paying attention, or your opponent might not be paying attention, is I'm securing my left in some kind of position. While this was and even better if you're going to have options as well. If this is neglected and the left keeps getting thrown out, well, that's fine because here comes this, okay? But complete swap. Now I'm under, and oftentimes, okay? And now what's going to happen here is, if you know, there's a series of things that can happen here once we rotate. Once I can do particular rotations and particular twists, okay? At the same time, it's always an ebb and flow. It's always a give and take. There's always positive things and negative things, risks involved as well. And at certain moments, that could be a weak position as well, okay? Okay?